everybody!
Hey!
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Maggie.
We're from Rock Candy Podcast. Kind of like behind the music.
Except unauthorized and drunk. But come along every week and listen to us talk about artists or albums that you may know really well or may have never heard of while we're drinking beers.
Witty things to talk about.
Great hot takes with some hot babes.
That's subjective, but okay. So go find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, and wherever you catch your pods.
And with that,
Party on, kids!
Oh, that sounded forced.
Is it not?
Hi there, this is John from Pino Comics.
This is the other John from Pino Comics.
And we just wanted to warn you before you tune into our quite excellent show that we may or may not use, what type of term would you use for the language, John?
Swearing with flair.
Swearing with flair.
Colorful language.
Colorful language.
Or just plain out, I don't know.
Gutter talk.
Gutter talk, there we go.
You've been warned. Listen in. Welcome back to yet another Pint O Comics.
You did that just for me, didn't you?
Did what?
Welcome back.
I'm going to do it forever.
Fuck you.
Forever and ever and ever.
Fuck you. We're welcoming back to Pino Comics.
That's right. You got Sir John over across the table from me. I am your buddy Johnny Ganache, and over on the left we have Secret Weapon Lou Skywalker.
He's on my right.
He's on John's right.
He's depending on point of view is left or right.
That's right. And then over to my right, to John's left, we got our buddy Mike Fullam, Blind Hostility from the show. Give us the show name.
J&M Something Nothing Show.
That's right. So if you enjoy Pint of Comics and you said, hey, I'm starting to get into this podcast thing. I want to check out some more podcasts. Go check out J&M Something Nothing, especially if you like, what is it, music, video games.
And anything else that comes up along the way.
Kind of a pop culture show. You guys like kind of seriously focus on video games.
Yeah, most of it's video games, but we throw music and movies and TV shows and stuff in there. And then we have a listener corner section once in a while.
Oh, man.
Where the listeners, can ask a question or have something, ask us to discuss something.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. We're supposed to do a Doctor Who episode at some point.
Oof.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I have
That's
some.
Be tough.
Yeah, I have more than you, but not enough.
That's a Kingpin show.
I was going to say,
is it?
Yeah, Kingpin's a big Doctor Who.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Mr. Space 1999.
All right, so we're talking about all these different shows. What we're here to discuss today.
Beer, because I just finished one.
John just finished a beer.
Thank you, Silent Tony, for the Backwoods Bastard founders here. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It must be because it's over 10%.
Yeah, we have just random fridge beer sitting in the fridge tonight. So
I'm thinking at some point we're gonna have to go from the 6-pack to the 30 rack.
To the 30 rack?
With all the people who are attached to the show.
We're getting there. We are getting there.
I was thinking about it. We got the 6-pack, and I figure anybody that joins afterwards can be like shot. Like they could be a shot of comic, you know?
No. We got a 12-pack coming, so.
Oh, okay. We need 6 more for the 12-pack.
And then we can do the 18-pack.
Wow, 30 rack.
30 rack.
30 rack, yeah.
Well, there's a 24. There's
a 24, right.
There's a 24.
All right.
If you're Anheuser-Busch.
Well, we're going to need like different colored stars to show when we joined. So,
okay.
Because it's all about elitism. I can't just be in the 30 rack.
No, you're 6-pack.
No, like Manster and G.I. Gary and me. I mean, like we got to have like gold stars.
Frodell,
Chris Frodell. Yeah,
well, the first 6.
Yeah, the first.
Yeah, the first 6. The original 6. My wife is now suddenly writing reviews for our website, and she's getting in there. She said to me today, as a matter of fact, John asked me if he said I should have a section on the website. Do you mind that? And I'm like, of course I don't mind that. Join up.
I told her to send me a photo and a profile.
All right. So anyway,
because I didn't think people would believe that she's real.
Oh, she's been on the show before.
After that last review that she wrote, I don't know.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
It was a little dirty.
Go to pineofcomics.com and check out my wife reviewing. She did 2 reviews. They're both for the same series, the current Dynamite Rainbow Bright series. She did issue 1 and issue 2, and as a matter of fact, I just brought her home issue 3, so we'll probably be seeing another one pretty soon.
I hope so, because they're very popular.
Yeah, they've been good. They've been good. And besides that, I mean, G.I. Gary just put out another one of his figure, G.I. Joe figure articles, which was fantastic. Lou has been
Did you
killing
read
it.
it have to do with O-rings?
I did read it.
I read it this morning.
Yeah,
it was really good. Yeah.
So in the original G.I. Joe comic book, in the first issue, there is a little scene where they have a computer screen with 13 G.I. Joes on it.
The original 13.
The original 13. So it's got, like, let's just say like Duke and Scarlet and probably Rock and Roll and Stalker. And then there's one that was in there named Shooter. Okay.
But there's a hand covering the face.
Hand covering the face in the comic book on the screen. There was never a Shooter character made. Right. There was never a referenced again in the comic book. And years later, the G.I. Joes in the 2000s when they were still making figures, they made a Shooter figure.
Did you? And of course, the reason that it was called Shooter
was Jim Shooter from Marvel Comics,
being the main reason that G.I. Joe was published at Marvel.
Right.
So it was kind of an in-joke for the comic at the time.
And it turned out because the face was concealed in the comic.
Why are we telling the whole story? We just go to the damn website
and
read the article.
Go to the website and read the article, please.
All right, let's get moving. It's 2019. We're recording in early January. But you know what? We have to say goodbye to 2018.
Yes, we do.
And the only way we could do that is by going through some stuff that we personally enjoyed. Our top lists of things in pop culture that happened in 2018.
And I want to just insist that this is not the awards ceremony that's going to happen in a couple of months.
Yes, we have the Planet Comics Awards as well. Yeah. That's going on. Make sure if you get a ballot, check that out, send it in.
Please do.
And if you haven't gotten one, let us know. We'll get it out to you.
And it's on the website. Go download the
download the damn
Just
thing.
Copy it. Jeez.
www.pinocomics.com.
That's right. All right, so Mike is chilling with us. We just did an episode with Mike, but Mike hung in with us for this one. The way we're going to do this episode, the four of us are going to give you our top three of a couple categories. Top three movies that we enjoyed the most that came out in 2018. Top three TV shows that we enjoyed the most in 2018. We're going to go into some books. John and I will do a couple of books, and we're also going to do comic books. Lou and Mike aren't necessarily current on comic books. Lou is kind of a lapse collector at this point, lapse reader. He hasn't done much in 18, and Mike he's like, fuck comic books, I want to play Nintendo.
Well, I'm putting all my money to the classic stuff.
Yeah.
Does Beavis and Butthead count?
No, there was a Beavis and Butthead comic book.
Richie Rich.
Richie, okay, all right. I don't know if they came out in 2018. So,
no, they definitely didn't.
So to
Not
keep,
yet.
So to keep things kind of moving on that way, they're going to have a category that John and I really have nothing involved with this year, is they're going to each give us their top three favorite video games that came out this year. So
works for me.
That works for me. You guys ready? So, Mike, why don't you start us off? What were your top three movies in 2018? What did you enjoy the most? What were the best to you? And let me preface this by saying, I want to throw this out there because people sometimes get this stuff confused. No way, shape, or form are we saying this is the best movie. This isn't the Oscars.
These are
our personal favorites. Yeah. So if you go, what the fuck are you talking about? It was terrible. Remember, it's a personal favorite. It's not.
And trust me, my number one is one of those hate it, love it kind of situations.
Oh, I already know what your number one is from many times we've talked on the show. But Mike, please,
you guys are gonna eat me up.
Nah,
no,
because I don't really watch TV or movies that much anyway. So, do you want them in order from 3 to 1? Or
at the very least, give us number one. Like in terms of like, give us what you consider the first two, and that I want number one being the one that was your favorite.
All right. So you want to start with number one?
No. Start 3, and then we'll go
3.
up to
all right. So we'll start at 3, which is a Netflix only movie called The Christmas Chronicles.
Oh, I've been hearing a lot of good things about that.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
It was done really well. It's really good movie.
You liked it that much?
I really did.
I'm not gonna say no to that, but it's amazing how many people really like that movie.
Chad Dizzle Davis loved it.
Yeah,
our buddy Chad from Hanging with Chad the podcast, and I'm pretty sure on So Wizards episode where they kind of did top stuff or biggest surprise, Joey loved that.
A lot of people really love it. Now seeing it, having seen it myself, do you think that's his real hair?
No. It is.
No,
it is.
Is it?
I read somewhere.
It's the most intense hair I have ever seen on a
really
guy.
Is. That's his real hair?
I read somewhere that the beard and hair is real.
Bullshit.
I don't
It's Kurt Russell, man.
I know, but oh my God. The makeup people must have been nuts with that. Just trying to keep it
in place.
It doesn't even seem like a real hair color.
Well, there's that too.
Well, it might not have been a real hair color, but... So was this something you enjoyed with your daughter? I know you got a young daughter.
Actually, no, I didn't watch it with her. I watched it with my girlfriend.
Yeah, and you guys, I wish I had a story to tell you like that. I actually wanted to see it, and my wife watched it without me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I come home one day, and she's like, "Oh, that Christmas Chronicles was pretty good." I went, I would have watched that.
It was.
She's
It
like,
was really
we
good.
can watch it together. I went, fuck that. I don't want to be your sloppy seconds on the Christmas Chronicles.
Watch it after Jingle All the Way.
yeah, really. We did watch that.
Yeah.
Be nice
every
to her.
year.
She's
So we
popular on
watched
the
it.
website.
It was a really good movie though.
Okay, so you enjoyed that.
Very
All right.
family friendly. So
And Netflix is blowing up. When I was listening to other shows that were doing this in terms of like their tops, many of them had Netflix original stuff.
Well,
It's
there's-
almost like, I mean,
there's a good reason for it.
I
And
haven't
there's
seen
also
the
a good
movie.
reason to put them in the other side too. But
Right. I haven't seen the movie, but like the most talked about movie in
No,
friggin'
no,
social media.
Bird Box.
No.
Yeah.
Bird Box.
No.
It was really good.
Have you seen it yet?
Have you seen
Yes.
it?
Okay.
You didn't like it? Did you like The Quiet Place?
See, that's the correlation everyone's going to bring
Before,
up.
well, I don't want to get too far into Bird Box, but what I was trying to say in terms of an allegory was the fact that Bird Box is like fucking lighting up social media as much as any movie that's been released in theaters ever. Like it is like I can't go anywhere. It's to the point that I
More
don't
than
even,
Bright, anyway.
I don't even want to see this movie in any way, shape, or form anymore because I'm so tired of like
Yeah.
everybody's opinions about
Yeah.
it. Like I'm like, okay, I'll wait.
I watched it before all that.
So Mike, what is
Moving on.
what is number 2?
All right, number 2 is I don't know. I don't think this was an Amazon Prime exclusive, but it's called Unsane.
I've heard of that. Was that the one filmed on a telephone?
Yeah, the iPhone 7.
Yes.
They filmed the whole thing. So it's basically a psychological horror film. So basically it's about a lady that moves from one state to another to get away from a stalker. And she thought she saw him and she started going to a therapist and somehow she involuntarily signed herself into an asylum as being crazy.
I think this is Steven Soderbergh. I'm
you,
pretty sure the
Yes,
director.
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Were you talking about that once?
No, but I've heard of
Somebody
it.
was on the show.
It's really good. Like it keeps you on the edge of your seat, but like when she's in there, so basically the stalker is in there. She recognizes him, but she just keeps getting more and more doped up
Oh, okay.
because they think she's nuts. Because the guy keeps playing it off as, no, it's not me. I don't know what you're talking about. But then he would take her to side and tell her, like, hey.
All right.
It was a good movie.
All right. Unsane. Yeah, Steven Soderbergh, the guy who made Oceans 11 through 13 and, Magic Mike and all this stuff.
Ocean's 12, really?
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
Your favorite?
I hated that movie, but I'm just saying that he's been pretty well known for doing kind of unconventional stuff like that, and he made the whole movie on an iPhone 7. Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't even know that. You can't even really tell when you do it. I didn't know about it until I started reading Wikipedia that was filmed on an iPhone 7.
Pretty badass.
Like breakdancing your way through a laser light show.
Oh God.
I'm learning the amazing things you can do with an iPhone.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
It's a fucking
I'm not at all surprised. I mean,
and weren't you bitching about the iPhone earlier?
I was bitching about the fact that the only time I owned an iPhone, the fucking thing died like as soon as the new one came out. Fucking just like my PlayStation 3, like a week before PlayStation 4 came out, that motherfucker crashed.
And my laptop is still going, just so you know.
Yeah. Well, we're back to Mike's laptop. Fucking A, man.
The non-Apple product.
I'm pretty sure your laptop is a Decepticon.
like Patrick Dempsey's watch.
Dude, I'm picturing it popped out of fucking Soundwave's chest. Rumble.
It's gonna turn into a falcon and fly away.
Laser beak. All right, Mike, what is your absolute favorite movie of 2018?
All right, here we go. So it's called I Can Only Imagine.
The title's familiar, but I don't know
It's a Christian drama film. It's based on a song written by Mercy Me, Christian rockers, and it's basically a story that he wrote about his relationship with his dad.
All right.
So it was a really good movie. So I was just reading some of the stats here. So it looks like it pulled in gross worldwide $85 million against a production budget of $7 million.
Oh.
So
Well, hello.
It was the fourth. It says it's the fourth highest grossing music biopic of all time in the United States.
Really?
When did it come out?
March 16th.
Okay.
Oh,
All right, so
wow.
you're going back to
Oh, did you see this in the theaters, or did you see this?
No, we rented it.
You rented it.
We rented it.
Yeah.
Yeah, rented on video. It's really good, and it's
Now, not to get too personal, are you Christian, or was this something you just rented and happened to enjoy?
wow. You want to go into that?
Well, I don't want to go into that.
not?
So
You know,
no,
I'm
basically
curious.
No,
I'm curious as someone who's not religious, and I don't know where your standing is.
I've never been religious all my life until probably the last year and a half.
So you've that's fine. That's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. So would this have been the type of movie that you would have enjoyed prior, or no?
Yeah, I think I would have because
Yeah.
I've always been into like the Hallmark Channel movies, Lifetime. I like the chick flicks, the dramas. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, no, hey, look,
You guys are gonna. I mean, you guys can pick me all you want.
No one's
you're
gonna pick on
oh,
me.
No, not pick on me. But I'm just saying, like,
no one's gonna even Mike. I have
I
a
can
thing.
tell you, I've probably never seen like most Marvel movies that are out there or nothing.
That's fine.
Have you seen Ones?
The movie once.
The movie Ones. You should see that.
Yeah, you'll enjoy that. That's a great chick flick.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And if you like music, you're gonna love it.
Religion aside, I'm interested where you rented it.
Oh, Redbox.
Fuck, if it made $85 million, you rented it anywhere.
No, but I mean, like,
Redbox,
it's not like a
yeah.
Blockbuster to rent it. That's why I was wondering, like,
Redbox.
Redbox. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
All right, so what was
I
it called
forgot
again?
those things existed.
I can only imagine.
I can only imagine. All right. All right. Interesting. It's always cool to hear of a movie I've never even heard. I know I've heard the name,
Yeah.
but I had no correlation as to what it was. Like, not that I don't want to get into this with you guys, but I hear the word Fortnite all the time. I don't know what the fuck. I know it's a video game, but I couldn't tell you if that's.
Congratulations on your first victory, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
All right, nerds. All right, nerds.
No kills. He killed himself in the store.
You got a no-kill victory?
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
Well, it shows up as a kill, but he killed himself in the store.
All right, I'm gonna pull the nerd reins.
Sorry.
And we're gonna move over to Lou, and we're gonna get Lou's top 3 films of 2018. And I know that one of them is gonna be a particular Marvel movie. I think you saw in the theaters fucking 8 times or something.
Okay, well, in going through the list, I realized I saw damn near nothing this year.
I didn't go much
It's
either.
been a long.
But it could have
year.
been anything.
I did the
got
same
away
thing.
from me.
Yeah, me too. But it could have been something you saw on video. It could have been.
Yeah, honestly, I went through 2018, and I'm like, I didn't see any of these things. So
Yeah, I did the same thing.
We'll start. So of what I've seen, which is admittedly a small sample size, we'll start with Deadpool 2.
Okay.
That was
And
so great.
I loved it.
I loved it.
I mean, just bringing Juggernaut in, the whole thing, it was great.
It almost hit my list.
Yeah,
I enjoyed.
I
and I'm
enjoyed
not
the
a
hell out
Deadpool
of it.
No,
fan, so,
it was a fun movie. To me,
Mm-hmm.
again, as a Deadpool hater, the movies they've done well.
Yeah.
When I was going through the list, like Lou here, all these movies that I wanted to see, I haven't seen yet.
I agree.
so-
There was a ton. I probably saw more than anybody here, but I still saw less than I usually see in a year.
Yeah.
It was an ironic twist because actually, remember when I was on the radio show with you and Chad last year, and we were going over the 2017 movies, and that, I realized I had seen more than I thought I did in 2017.
Right.
But this one, I'm like, oh, I haven't seen anything. So, I mean, Deadpool 2 was obviously, we'll put it at number 3. Number 2, I'm going to go with Infinity War. Just the spectacle of it. And the fact that it was 10 years in the making, and how they
Look,
managed
it doesn't
to bring
matter
all
whether
together.
you get
Yeah.
you disagree with script issues or whatnot. It was the best idea of putting, like, if you're just going to make a comic book movie with a bunch of characters in it and have a lot of conflict and fighting and stuff, they definitely succeeded there.
Oh yeah,
What script issues?
Oh, the ones you hate. Thanos. That Thanos has shitty. And you're right. Thanos's motivations in the comic is much stronger. They're definitely
That's not a
things.
script issue. That's a disparity between the comics and the movies.
All right. Well,
So.
I'm just saying when you get a big playground movie like that, it was pretty well done. I mean,
yeah, and they managed to give it a weight. You know what I mean? Like that you wouldn't necessarily think.
Well,
that
fuck,
movie
I gotta
like
be
that.
honest with you. Have you seen it or no?
I have not seen it.
Are they dead? Are they dead?
I mean,
Are they dead?
Are they dead? Are they? I have to honestly say though, I mean, I'm sure spoilers are off the table at this point, but the ending of Ant-Man and the Wasp was actually more heartfelt when you realize how it tied into the snap.
Yeah.
I'll
agree with you there.
That was a gut punch.
Funny thing is, I actually look at Ant-Man and the Wasp as a better movie than Infinity War.
I really enjoyed Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I
did.
enjoyed it.
Paul Rudd.
It was right on.
I
the
sort of wonder
line.
sometimes how much I'd enjoy the Ant-Man movies if Paul Rudd wasn't in them, because he just lends such credence to anything he's in. You can't not like that
Anything?
dude.
Anything?
You can't not like that dude.
Anything.
slap in the face.
Oh, he's gonna be a dick.
I am
Yeah,
gonna be a
like
dick.
what have you seen that you didn't like him in? If you didn't like the movie, see, you can't answer that.
I can if I can remember the name of the movie.
Yeah, all right. You've automatically disqualified yourself. All
You want?
right,
Fine. We'll do that another night.
all right. Number one.
And
Movies that Paul
anyone-
Rudd is not good in.
And anyone who knows me knows Black Panther.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you
far
saw
and
Black
away.
Panther with us.
Yep.
And we did the review that afternoon. And I think I remember. You went back like 5 times?
I saw it 5, yeah.
I've got to be fully honest. I love Black Panther. I got it on Blu-ray for Christmas. I've only seen it once.
Oh, 5 times in the theater. That doesn't count the times I've watched it at home.
Yeah. See, there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's 5 times.
I do think it's a great movie. I really enjoyed it. I can't go back to the theater anymore. I went to Infinity War twice, but only because my buddy Rich wanted to see it. He hadn't seen it, and I was like, "Fuck it, let's go." But like, I have a hard time, even with stuff
asleep.
I love. I actually did fall asleep at the end of Infinity War.
I was finding excuses
I'm
to
not
go
even
back
kidding.
to the theater. I'm like, oh, you haven't seen it yet,
either.
person I don't know on the street? I'll take you. Let's go.
Luke goes to a Taco Bell and he's like, "Yeah, I'll have a vegetarian burrito wrap." And the girl's like, "Oh, okay. And what are you doing after this?" "I'm going to go see Infinity War." "You want to go with me? You want to go see Infinity War?" And she's like, "Sir, I have a boyfriend. I don't want to fuck you. I just want to go see Infinity War."
I need a reason to go.
Don't flatter yourself, fucking Stacy. I don't want to fuck you. I want to go see the snapping again.
Stacy with the 2 eyes.
Yeah, Stacy with 2 eyes. You work at a Taco Bell. I have nothing to do with you. Nothing wrong with Taco Bell workers, by the way.
Nothing you get. No, and hey, there's no place when you only have $3 in a dream where you can get a full belly.
This guy will tell you. This guy's like the fucking Taco Bell.
Bell.
Taco Bell man.
I love Taco Bell.
I'll tell you, do you notice that the Taco Bells that are being built nowadays? Like I saw one, there's one in like Amity, and there's a new one in Meriden. They're so sleek.
That
They look
would
like
be Connecticut for those of you
Connecticut.
not in Connecticut.
We're in Connecticut. They look like they're designed after Taco Bell from Demolition Man. Have you seen the newer
I
ones?
haven't seen it.
They're like all
Demerit.
dark on the outside, and it's very cool. Demerit.
I know people who like say, you know, you have people I'm friends with on Facebook, and they're like, "Yo, I went to Taco Bell and spent $30," and I'm sitting there going, "How?
Oh, it can be done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
it
mean,
can be
you
done.
almost buy a Taco Bell for $30. I don't understand.
Mike doesn't realize that he has 3 franchises alone.
That and Chick-fil-A. I don't know what's worse nowadays.
Chick-fil-A. I never really got a Chick-fil-A. We're going to do a whole show about fucking fast food at some point. All right.
That'll be awful.
All right, John, give
Denny's.
us your top 3. And I know what number 1's going to be.
All right, my top 3. It was tough going through the list and seeing what I haven't seen and trying to fill that in for the last 3 hours before I got to this. But I'm going to go with The Green Room. Not The Green Room, sorry. The Green Book. The Green Room was a different movie.
Green Room was very good.
Green Room was
That was a couple years ago.
I did see that, though, this past year. But The Green Book, which was released a couple of months ago. It's a good movie. It's very well acted. It's a little soft on the reality of things, I would say. Because I plan to do a full review of it at some point if I have time.
So this is basically kind of like a race relations.
It's more than that. It's a period piece. It's supposed to be based off of 2 real people. It is based off of 2 real people. Whether or not it's the true story of these 2 people is dependent on who you believe. And then calling it the Green Book when the Green Book itself is barely seen or mentioned in the whole film as to what it actually is.
Oh, so the title is not indicative of anything in particular in the movie.
It is, but it's kind of a offhanded comment. Do you know what the Green Book is?
I don't.
In the, I guess, late 50s, early 60s, this book was published to let non-white travelers know where they would be allowed to reside or go to in the Deep South. So restaurants and hotels and gas stations and that sort of thing, where you're accepted. It's used as a travel piece because the 2 characters, one is white and one is black. They have to use it to find where
They can go
yeah.
in that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Viggo Mortensen
And
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali, and whether or not they're portraying the characters accurately historically, it doesn't matter. The 2 of them are so good together. It's difficult to see who's a better actor in this movie.
Really?
That's what I liked about it. It was less because it's a little soft around the edges as far as the race relations and where they're going and what they're doing in the particular time period. Those 2 actors are so good in what they're doing. It's riveting to watch.
Mahershala Ali, we've talked about him a million times.
Oh yeah, a million times.
He played.
I didn't even know he was in it when I started watching it. I didn't even know Viggo Mortensen was in it when I started watching it.
Cotton. Was he Cottonmouth?
Cottonmouth.
Cottonmouth on the Luke Cage show.
But he's been in a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
He's so
he was
good.
in a movie. He won Best Supporting Actor for it. Moonlight a couple years ago.
Which I have not seen. But
That's a really good
you
movie.
did, yeah.
It's a really good movie. It's a sad movie, but it's a really good movie. All right. So what is your number 2, John?
Number 2 is going to be Black Panther. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It's a spectacle.
Yeah.
If nothing else, if this movie doesn't win some sort of award for set design or costume
It
design,
deserves a lot.
It needs it because it's so good. Just visually, it's so good.
Yeah.
I loved it overall for all that. I mean, yeah, maybe there's some weak points in the story. I don't really care. It was a visual treat, and that was enough for me.
I agree. I totally agree.
I'm totally in on that.
All right, numero uno.
Tell me you can't watch that movie and just turn the volume down and watch it.
No, it's
amazing.
It transports you to another place.
It's more than that. It's just amazing to see.
It took a place that even a lot of hardcore comic readers might not be familiar with in Wakanda,
right?
Because it's Black Panther. Again, it's not Superman. It's not, and it made it a livable fucking place.
Yeah,
Definitely. I mean, I thought it was.
It's a staple of Marvel Comics from the '60s to the '90s,
right?
As far as a locale, and to see it, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So
I'm not even kidding. I said this 5 times in the theater, not counting all the times at home. And the scene where they're flying back to Wakanda and they go through the mountain the first time.
Oh yeah.
And he goes, "This never gets old." And I swear to God, to this day, I still get like that same feeling in my chest the first time I saw it, because that's how good it looks. Like when they bust through the mountain, when they go through the mountain, and you see the city laid out before you, you're just going. To me, it syncs up perfectly with every drawing I've ever seen of the city in a it's not one for one, but I mean it felt that real. Like they took that much care with it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And you've got 40 years of character and world development from different writers that they slapped into this movie. And
right.
It's pretty amazing what they did with it.
All right, John, can I announce your number one?
Yeah, go ahead.
And see if I get it right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hereditary.
You're right.
Yeah, I knew it.
Hereditary is the #1 movie of 2018.
Hereditary.
I was saying that after I watched that movie.
Oh no, you were balls deep on that thing.
Oh yeah. I still am. It's the best. Oh, it's so good. And for those of you that don't like Hereditary, oh well, you're never gonna like the movies that I like.
Hereditary is one of those movies. Now we talked about like the hype of Bird Box, and I'm not even talking. That's not even so much divisive whether they liked it or not. It's talked about a lot. But Hereditary is either Hereditary was the greatest thing ever, or what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
And I actually picked up a copy right after Christmas, and I have not watched it yet. And I'm excited to find out what side of the fence I'm going to fall on. Because, again, it could be the case where I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? Or, holy shit, that was genius. And what I like about Hereditary is last year, in the summertime, we did a show with Larry Dwyer from Connecticut Cult Classics, and we watched a bunch of trailers that were for summer movies.
Right.
And we all agreed, at the very least, that the Hereditary trailer looked fucking incredible.
It looked great. And what blew me away with the trailer, it doesn't give away the movie at all. At all.
Right.
It tells you nothing, which kills me about trailers these days with all of these movies. The big budget, the Michael Bay crap. It gives you the movie in the trailer.
Right.
You could watch a 2-hour fucking Michael Bay movie in a 3-minute trailer. I don't need that. And Hereditary gives you all these scenes, seem to be pointing you in a particular direction, and when you see the movie, it's nowhere near it. And I like that. Whenever you snow me, it's even better.
Mike, did you see Hereditary by any chance?
No.
Lou? All right, so the three of us have no opinion on it.
It is not a scary movie. It's just a horror movie.
All right.
That's all.
All right, so I'm up next. Let's see what we have here for movies. All right, my three are going to be three kind of a little bit not as direct as like Black Panther or anything. I love Black Panther, though. I want to say that. And I did love Avengers Infinity War. But
I did not.
My three favorites of the year that I saw, I'm going to go with number 3. It came out in November. Nobody saw this movie, or at least not. It made money, but it's like one of those movies that went right under the radar. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a cult classic. In a few years, this is going to be very popular. Overlord, which was the World War II, starring Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell's son, and it's about a bunch of guys in World War II that get shot down over their drop zone, and they land in this small village in France, and inside the village, there's a castle where the Nazis are doing some very Wolfenstein-y type shit. It's a kind of a body horror thing. It's not a zombie movie per se, but there's some monstrous stuff going on. This movie, what's the word? It kind of strode the line between being a World War II movie, straight up World War II movie, because there's a lot of that in it, and then there's like this supernatural element, and they weaved it in perfectly. When I saw it with Lindsay, and I left the theater, and I really enjoyed it, and then I found that I thought about it more and more, and I thought, when does that fucker come out on DVD? When does that come out on Blu-ray? Because I want to watch it again. So Overlord, and for a long time when it was, before it came out, it was rumored because it was produced by Bad Robot, J.J. Abrams' company, a lot of people thought it was going to be Cloverfield 4, and it was not. It has nothing. So if you think that about Overlord, if you're like, oh god, because Cloverfield Paradox was fucking awful.
Is it a prequel of Cloverfield?
Has nothing to do with it. But a lot of people were like, oh, this is the next Cloverfield movie, and it was not the next Cloverfield.
There was
movie.
a third Cloverfield movie.
Cloverfield Paradox, the one that came out on Netflix.
Came out this year.
It
Or
was
this past year.
fucking awful. It came out the day of the Super Bowl. They announced it during the Super Bowl. They're like, after the Super Bowl, turn on Netflix, and the Cloverfield Paradox is on there. And the next day I watched it, and I was like, fuck you for making me watch that. That movie was fucking awful. And it has nothing to do with the Cloverfield monster, by the way. He shows up at the very end. It's a space station horror movie, kind of.
Jesus.
It's so fucking bad. I can't spoil the Cloverfield Paradox for you because I just helped you by telling you not to watch it. All right, so Overlord is my number 3. Number 2, we recently just reviewed this on the podcast. Mandy, I loved Mandy.
Mandy's on my list, but it's off to the side.
I
enjoyed it, but it was not on a top 3 level.
Top 3 for me because there were so many things going on. It wasn't just Mandy is not just so it's a horror movie. It's not a horror movie. But it's the visuals, it's the colors, it's the music in it. This is a trippy fucking movie, and it is.
What is that?
It is, again, it's Nicolas Cage doing something pretty worthwhile, which he hasn't really done a lot of lately. Have you heard of Mandy or seen Mandy?
Never heard of it.
Check Mandy out. I don't know if Lou would like it so much because I know Lou kind of tends to stay away from the.
It's almost like a movie. It's like a music video with a story.
Yeah, it's crazy. Mandy, which came out this year,
Nicolas Cage.
And I think it might have been direct to video. I think it might have been a Shudder exclusive, and then they ended up putting it on Blu-ray.
Nah, I'm not really sure about that.
Directed,
but it was definitely a crowd-funded.
Crowd-funded, right?
Not exactly crowd-funded, but generally that's the topic you want.
Directed and co-written by a guy named Panos Cosmatos, who is the son of George Cosmatos, who was a director who made Rambo: First Blood Part 2. Huh? He made Cobra. Remember what was the crime is disease, I'm the cure. But he made Tombstone, which is one of my favorite movies. But if you have not checked Mandy out, I tell you right now, get out there and check Mandy out. And then my number 1 movie of the year, again, Jesus, now that I think about it, Overlord I saw in the theaters, Mandy I did not. My number 1 movie, I waited until video, and I wish I had seen this in theaters. Not that it needed a theater, but this movie got slept on. Upgrade.
Yeah, I couldn't put that in.
I loved Upgrade. So Upgrade basically came out in the middle of the summer. I guess the easiest way to give you an idea of what Upgrade is it's Venom just made well. It's Logan Marshall Green, who is the American Tom Hardy, and he plays a guy who ends up getting paralyzed in what's not an accident. He gets saved by a tech genius who puts a chip into his body that has an AI and kind of makes him a killing machine. And he goes on a kind of a revenge tilt, trying to find who caused his accident, who killed his wife. It's just, I loved it. It's a fantastic movie. The visuals were great. There's one villainous character, I'm talking about, John. He was like also how do you want to put it? He was kind of a tiny guy, but he was also cybernetically enhanced, and he could cough out like nanites that would make you die.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing about the movie. It's very if you're into cyberpunk at all,
it's super cyberpunk.
There's a whole when we saw the trailer, I thought it was going to be a really good movie, and I watched the movie and was a little disappointed in it. But
see, I dug that one. I think that was my favorite of the year by far.
It's got some great action sequences.
Oh.
And the cybernetics are pretty cool.
And the ending, it has an ending that, again, I'm not going to say I didn't see it coming, but it was like, shit, man, that ending it's one of those endings that'll make you go, damn.
It's not your standard Hollywood ending.
It's not a Hollywood ending. Yeah. And again, Venom, which I did see very recently, which was a fucking turd fest. Kind of very similar idea.
Why did you go see these characters you don't like?
I didn't go see Venom.
You did?
I saw Venom on online, let's say.
Online.
And it sucked. And I'm not a Venom fan, but that movie sucked. So Overlord, Mandy, and Upgrade. All right, so that was our movies for 2018. I say we move down to television shows. So Mike, why don't you start us with your list of what keeps Mike in his seat at home? What is he watching? The Super Mario Brothers Hour with Captain Lou Albano?
No, I got that video.
Dun, 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 dun. Boink.
So number 3, I got FBI, which is by Dick Wolf, and that's new.
Oh,
this year.
Dick Wolf is the guy who does Law and Order, right?
Yeah, correct. So yeah, I usually tend to stick to those type of shows. So
Oh, you like the procedural type stuff?
yeah, stuff like that, Criminal Minds and all that. So that's just straightforward. It's kind of like Law and Order, but it's FBI.
Okay.
Number 2 is going to be Law and Order SVU.
Ice-T.
That's
Ice
still
motherfucking T.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ice T,
No
man.
kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it's like fucking 18 years or something.
20.
20.
And by the way, just quickly, if nobody follows Ice-T on Twitter, you absolutely have to.
Yes,
I don't follow
you
on
do.
Twitter.
Ice-T on Twitter is a freaking force in nature.
I saw
man. He's the
I saw
best.
recently I did see Ice-T
Oh,
on
do it.
YouTube drinking a cup of coffee for the first time in his life.
Yeah, Ice-T's the
He'd
man.
never had coffee,
Yeah.
and so they have a video of him drinking coffee, and it's just fucking hilarious. He drinks coffee black, and he's like, "Why the fuck would you do this to yourself?"
Yeah, and bagels. There's one with bagels.
Right, because he's never had bagels before. And then he puts cream and sugar in it. He's like, okay, that's more my taste. He goes, you got to understand, I like Kool-Aid. I like sweet shit. but when he's done, he's talking about, he's like, so for my review, he goes, coffee with sugar, not too bad. Coffee with cream and sugar, that's my shit. Who's that standing at my door?
I don't know. That was weird.
All right, we are back. We had to stop for a minute there because my creepy friend Kingpin was standing in the doorway of my house, and I saw this fucking. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So we are back. Sorry about that. That was a good little moment, though. I'm probably gonna keep that right in there. So we were talking about Ice-T.
Never
so,
seen 4 grown men more scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're all going to be on a special victims unit.
I got up and I'm like, I gotta act like I'm gonna kick some ass, but I'm like, if this dude's got a fucking knife or a gun, I'm running. I'm leaving these 3 fucking here. So
Calling Richard
wait.
Belzer.
So going with Ice T though, I just saw him in September at the Big E.
that's right. He played with Body
That
Count,
was
right?
no, just Ice T. Let me tell you, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking of having Ice T play there.
Was it
Like
crazy?
it was probably the raunchiest show I've ever heard in my life.
Really?
They had
Like-
Ice-T at a country fair.
Yeah, and
That's
he,
awesome.
And he was all right. So he's 60. You know what it's like watching
Holy
you know what it's like. You know what it's like watching a 60-year-old man dry hump the stage.
I'm gonna say I don't, but I'm gonna say you do.
Yeah. So we were actually in a general admission free section first, and then they tweeted out something on not tweeted on Facebook. They put out, if you want free tickets, come to here and say the code. So we got upgraded to like 6th row to see Ice-T. So in the reserve section. So he basically told everybody, he goes, I see a bunch of young kids out here. What the fuck is wrong with all you bringing them to an Ice motherfucking T concert? Let alone his daughter's over on the side of the stage with his wife.
Was Coco there?
Yeah, Coco was there too.
His daughter's like 4.
and
Oh my God.
It was
that's
that was
hysterical.
fucking crazy. The Big E took me 3 fucking hours just to get into the parking lot.
Oh, I can
I believe
imagine.
it.
Yeah.
3 hours. Like it was the most attended day ever. Not because of Ice-T, but just the most attended day ever. He was actually late getting there because he was stuck in traffic and had to have a police escort to get through the traffic.
He's the OG man, original
to get
gangster.
there. But
It's like Woodstock.
it was a crazy fucking show. It was awesome.
You know what they say when Ice-T shows up? There goes the neighborhood.
Yeah, there goes the neighborhood.
All right, so you're a fan of SVU. But we were talking a second ago before creepy Kingpin showed up at my fucking door about how SVU's been on for 20 years. It's been on so long. Christopher Maloney, who was on that show forever, has been gone for like 10 years, right? Like 8 or 9 years.
He's got a whole new career.
He's had 3 different shows since then. So I mean, like that, Mariska Hargitay's still hanging strong, but
Yep.
but yeah, that show's
Is
been
she
on for a long time.
62? Because she's goddamn hot for 60.
She's
Nah, she's not 60.
I saw her
I
on I think Jimmy Kimmel with Ice-T because they were promoting
dating?
they were promoting the new they were promoting the new season of the show. And I got to say, for her age, man, looking good. But, with a mother like that, right, you're not going to do too bad.
Did you ever see her
Close,
father,
John.
too?
Close. She's 54.
54. Probably the only funny joke in that whole Love Guru movie was the fact that
Mariska Hargitay.
Mariska Hargitay.
Oh, jeez.
All right, Mike, number one.
That's a bad callback.
It is. It's a bad movie. Your number one TV show for 2018.
A Million Little Things.
A Million Little Things. Now, what, you just keep fucking surprising me.
Yeah.
What is that?
So it's basically a show of 4 best friends.
Okay.
So it really went. I guess you could call it like a soap opera. I don't know what you want.
I like
to
how
call
a
it.
dude whose handle is blind hostility is digging the Christian movies, the chick flicks, and the fucking the 4 best friends soap operas.
Is
So-
this a network?
No,
yeah,
no,
network.
it's on.
What am I thinking here?
It's on Lifetime.
It's on ABC.
ABC. Okay.
ABC.
Okay.
So it's basically 4 best friends, and it started off right away. One of them kills himself, commits suicide. The other one was actually going to kill himself with pills. You know what I'm talking about?
Is this the dude from Psych? Isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, I've
Yes.
seen the preview for it.
Great
Yeah.
fucking show. Then one guy is fucking the guy that just committed suicide's wife. Yeah, it's just a big circle. But
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big clusterfuck. It's really
All right. So what was this called again? A million
little things.
little things. All right. So we have first one was FBI.
FBI.
Dick Wolf's FBI.
Dick Wolf's FBI.
Law and Order SVU and A Million Little Things. Lou, what was getting you all excited and Twitter-pated on TV in 2018?
I'm going to start out with the Grand Tour, and
yeah,
that's my. I'm a huge fan of Top Gear. Always have been the original Top Gear with May Clarkson and Hammond.
Yeah.
And when Clarkson had his fallout with the BBC, and he ended up, they went over to Amazon, and Amazon picked him up, and the Top Grand Tour is basically just Top Gear. It's under a different name. They do the same thing. So if you're a fan of Top Gear, Top Gear is one of those shows that I could watch the same episode 800 times and not care. Just I love the show that much.
Right.
It's like me and Farscape.
Yeah. The fact that it's back just makes me happy. And, season 3 is coming out in a couple weeks. So probably by the time this airs, season 3 will have premiered.
All right.
So
That's a good deep dive there.
yeah, I mean, and it's also not a scripted show. It's
Right.
a
little different.
A little different, yeah.
yeah, it's on.
All right, what's number 2?
I'm going to go with Daredevil.
Yeah, season 3.
I absolutely loved it. Drawing from the comics and, not one of the things that I was actually afraid that they weren't going to touch just because people like to stay away from it is his religion, his faith, and the Catholicism.
they went deep into it.
They went deep into it, and I was actually surprised.
Daredevil's a character. Daredevil's a rare character in comic books that his faith and religion are important.
Right.
It's out there and it's part of the character. And they didn't fuck around with it.
And there was not, and to me, there was, and unlike a lot of the Marvel shows, there was no lull. To me, there was no mid-season lull. The season moved along at a really good
I'll agree
pace.
with you. Yeah, that season, and
It earned its 13 episodes.
Let me just say this: when I was coming up with different topics of what we were going to cover here, Daredevil is one that made me say, don't just pick the season, because Daredevil season 3 was so much better than season 2.
Right.
You need to pick the show as a whole. And the nice thing about season 3 is that it does mesh with season 1 so well.
Oh yeah.
Season 2 is it's look at it as 3 chapters, the beginning, middle, and end, if you really want to look at it that way.
Season 2 had moments, but it was a case of
Season 2 ended up being more of a setup for the Defenders.
Exactly.
and a setup for the Punisher.
Honestly, I thought it was even more so, just as much of a setup for Iron Fist.
Yeah.
If you didn't watch it.
and Punisher too.
But
it was all about the Punisher.
It was a big setup for a lot of other.
And all these shows seem to be a setup for the inevitable Karen Page show that I'm not going to watch.
You mean her Dungeons and Dragons show?
Oh, is she on another show now?
She's going to do her own dungeon. Not Karen Page, but the actress.
I saw that she's
Deborah Ann Wool's doing like a live stream D&D thing.
Yeah.
I saw that she's in that new escape room movie
that
doesn't look good.
And just not thrilled anyway.
So what? Because Critical Role's popular now, everyone's got to jump on the bandwagon.
I'm not the guy to go into this because I can really burn some bridges.
All right, number 1 show of 2018, Lou. Tell me.
Number 1 show. Once again, anyone who knows me knows I'm going to say this. Best sci-fi show ever made, The Expanse.
Yeah, I still have to get on
hands down.
Well done. Okay,
Yeah.
I would have gone there too, but I need to catch up. So.
God bless Amazon for saving the show and allowing it to air. And season 3 was the culmination of everything they've done through the first 2 seasons. And that last episode, and I've said it to anyone who's asked me, if season 3 was the last episode I ever saw that show, I would have been pissed.
Oh yeah,
yeah, because the way they closed, they left it open.
Okay,
and I would have been, come on.
Well, it got canceled by Sci-Fi and rescued by Amazon, right?
Yeah,
or Hulu. One of those.
Surprisingly, Sci-Fi canceled a show that cost a little bit of money.
Yeah,
well.
and obviously they spent a little bit of money on it, which it never really made any sense to me that they spent that much money on a show that was that good.
Well, it's like I said about Battlestar Galactica. Is the only reason why I think they ever let that show finish was because it had an ending. If that show did not have, if they didn't pitch that show with a beginning, a middle, and an end, and said, "Here's what we want to do, and this is all we're doing," that thing would have been canceled after 2 seasons.
Yeah,
But
what was the
hung with
Stargate
it.
show that they kind of upped the amp?
Stargate Universe.
Yeah, and that thing got fucking.
Which is actually a really good show.
I
hate Stargate, so I don't want to.
No, SGU was a good show.
I finally finished it, but
Robert Carlyle was awesome.
Well, that's why I
that.
watched
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
I do like him.
he was so difficult though. The character was just not well portrayed. Well, not portrayed, developed. I think is probably a better word. It's difficult when you don't like the main character.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
Actually, most of the main characters in that show I didn't like.
I don't know. Stargate again. I don't watch it.
Well, like
I was let down by the movie 25 years ago.
Well,
so
that's it.
Ming-Na was in that too. So when you don't like her,
yeah.
that's saying a lot.
King
too.
likes her.
King likes her.
I like her a lot too, but when you don't like her character because her character's so awful.
We know King likes her because we stayed till like 8 o'clock in Rhode Island while he was getting a picture with her.
We almost left him in Rhode Island while he was getting a fucking autograph from Ming-Na Wen.
You're just all
right.
That's moving on.
John, television top 3. Give us
this was tough because I've got more goddamn names and titles written down here, but I'm gonna narrow it down right now to number 3 would be Glow.
Oh, fuck. I still haven't seen season 2 yet, but man, that is a fucking good show.
I absolutely love that show. I can't get enough of that.
You got me on that last year in season 1, and I'll be honest, me and Lindsay watched episode 1, and I went, yeah, maybe John's a little fucking, maybe he's wrong on this one. And then as that show builds and builds, and again, I just forgot about season 2, so I'm glad you mentioned that. Did you watch Glow at all?
No.
Watch Glow.
King?
No?
Glow? Really? This
Mike,
would be
Glow.
right up your alley.
All right, guys, seriously, if you want to see a good show, well, give him.
Oh, it's based off of the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, and
that I used to watch.
Yeah, well,
I know
it's
what you're talking about.
set at that time period, and it's supposed to be about the building of the Glow universe or whatever.
When
you
the
wanna call
first
it.
season came out,
It's-
like 2 years ago or summer of 2 years ago,
It's
and
so
again,
good.
we're talking about like Bird Box and everything. It was hyped. Everything. Let's
Yeah,
watch Glow. And
I
went,
didn't-
Who the fuck's gonna watch? I don't want to watch Glow.
I had no interest either. I
Yeah.
didn't watch it till it was it was 10 episodes, I think, that came out. They dumped them all at once. Everyone raved about it, and about 6 months later, I had nothing to watch, so I was like, I'll watch Glow. First episode in, I couldn't get enough of it. It was so
It's
good.
very good.
It was
Very
so good. And I couldn't wait for season 2. And when season 2 came out again, they dumped it all at
And
once.
man-
And man, I sucked it all up in one day. I was like, I can't get enough of this. I want more.
I can't remember her name, but the blonde, kind of like the one of the main characters.
Yeah.
The her name in real life is Betsy something. But look up Lou Glow.
Honestly, most of the actresses are.
She's gorgeous, man. I've seen her on
Yeah.
talk shows where she's not 80'd up, and she's a good-looking.
80'd up.
Because it takes place in like 1986 or something.
80'd
You said
up.
the character's name is Debbie?
Debbie
Her
is,
first name is Betsy.
Betty Gilpin.
Betty Gilpin.
Betty Gilpin. Yeah, that's right. She's
Good
been in a
looking.
few things.
Yeah, and then of course the other part about that show that I like is that you have who's the main what's her name from Community? Alison Brie.
Alison Brie,
who's gorgeous in real life,
And they
kind of ugg her up
Yeah,
in this
a little
show
bit, yeah.
with the frumpy haircut and everything, and so yeah, I'm with you on that.
Oh, it's such a good show.
Speaking of wrestling, can I just take half a second and say rest in peace, Mean Gene Okerlund?
Oh,
Yeah.
Mean Gene.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, we had
One
3
brief
deaths
second.
all in
Three.
one day.
We got hit with 3.
All the same age.
Captain and Tennille, and Tennille spent his last few hours with him, even though they've been divorced for years. And Mean
He's been
Gene,
sick for some time. Though.
Mean Gene Okerlund, and fucking Super Dave Osborne,
Yeah, Super
aka
Dave.
Bob Einstein, brother of Albert Brooks. And if you've never seen Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Which I have.
he's Marty Funkhauser on that,
Look at
and he's fucking awesome. And he was also on Arrested Development.
He used to be on all kinds of ESPN radio
Yeah.
shows, and it was.
I thought about something that day.
he was so much fun.
I didn't put it on Facebook, but it was kind of ironic that Mean Gene died the same day as Super Dave.
Yeah.
And they both had to deal with people named Fuji a lot. remember
is
Super
true.
Dave's his guy was Fuji, and he was always fucking up. Fuji, you fucking asshole.
Mr.
yeah.
Fuji.
Yeah, and Mr. Fuji on WWF. Yeah, Mean Gene, voice of the fucking WWF.
Another voice of my youth gone.
Yeah.
just-
Matter of fact,
And boy, nobody has said a bad thing about him ever.
no.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's like the day Bob Shepard, who was the longtime announcer, stadium announcer for the New York
Yankees,
Yankees,
yeah.
died, and then when Derek Jeter retired, he was the last person ever to.
He had him continue
Bob
through,
Shepard,
yeah.
When Bob Shepard died, when Phil Rizzuto died,
Oh,
I grew
yeah.
up watching Phil Rizzuto,
Phil.
Pat Summerall. I mean,
Yeah.
Sundays were Pat Summerall.
Oh, yeah, John Madden, yeah.
Now Mean Gene Okerlund. It's like the voices of like my childhood.
When
are
Mean
just-
Gene died, someone had posted a video, and they're like, "This is one of the great Mean Gene videos." And it was Mean Gene and Macho Man Savage and Elizabeth. And I'm watching. I went, "They're all fucking dead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're all
yeah.
dead."
You're right.
Like that's Elizabeth died a long time ago. People forget about that. Yeah, so good to bring that up, Lou. Thank you very much.
Hey, there you go. Let's drag down the glow commentary.
Well, it was a nice tie in wrestling,
Yeah, wrestling.
All right, what's your next show?
I'm going to go with Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, goddamn. Yeah.
What? So you're number one?
It's my number one. Yeah.
Is it your number one?
Well, my number one is very fluid because there's another. I think your list is going to probably be very close to mine because we talk a lot about TV.
I don't think you're going to have my number one.
Okay, all right. So Star Trek Discovery. I'm just gonna. So I don't have to say much about it. You talk about it, and then I'm just going to agree with you.
It's probably it's a dividing line between Star Trek fans across the different eras of Star Trek.
Right, original series.
Yeah,
Next Generation.
I'm an original series fan. I'm a Kirk fan. Kirk is my god, basically. I used to say that all the time. Kirk is God. Discovery, so it doesn't quite fit with the look and the feel of the original series. It works for me because of the storytelling.
It's fucking great storytelling.
Yeah, I'm not really big into the prequel stuff either, so the fact that it was a prequel doesn't really work for me, but the series itself was so good and so well acted. I just can't say enough good things about it.
Star Trek Discovery.
And I can't wait for the next season.
Me too.
So.
The previews look so fucking good. Star Trek Discovery, along with one of my other top shows, did something that not a lot of shows do. Everything I saw and read about it beforehand made me go, no thank you, no thank you,
and it did
no thank you.
Yeah.
And then I watched it and went, fucking A, this show is fantastic. And to this day, I still have people who either haven't watched it or, oh, it looks, I'm like, you fucking, just erase Star Trek out of your head. And watch this on its own.
Yeah.
As a Star Trek, it's in a universe. It doesn't follow a captain for the first time ever. It follows this character who is a fucking, who basically has been kicked out of Starfleet.
Yeah, she's the central figure.
She's a central figure, but I'm saying there's never really been a show that hasn't followed a captain.
It's a different focus point, and it's good. And one of the biggest problems I had was the design of the starship. I hated it. But when I realized what it was,
right, what the whole idea behind Discovery is,
yeah, well, not just that, but the design of the ship itself. Did you ever hear about that? That was supposed to be the Enterprise.
It was
for
from Star Trek 2,
Phase 2,
Phase 2, yeah.
Which was, and then I was like, oh, okay, I can get behind that now.
Yeah.
It's a way to pull a guy like me into it.
Yeah, I was when we've been doing the show a while now.
I'm such a dick when it comes to Star Trek.
I was amazed. I'm still amazed to this day that you dig it, and for you to put it on your top 3 is fucking awesome.
No, because it's such a good show.
Yeah,
and when again, I'm a Babylon 5 fan. You haven't seen it?
No.
All right, you've never seen it, Lou.
I saw a few episodes.
Okay, no.
I tried watching.
No.
I tried watching Babylon 5 one time, and I've got to be honest. What took me out of it was the effects in the early seasons.
The early seasons are bad. It's bad effects. Yes, you got to get past that. And it's just.
And I know I have to.
Well, the problem is now you're never going to get past it because they're never going to update them in any way. The people that were in full makeup and were able to outact everyone else around them. That's what I'm getting with Star Trek Discovery. You've got Doug Jones portraying a character in full makeup, and high heels and full prosthetics.
Doug Jones is fucking awesome.
He's just amazing. The guy should win all kinds of awards, and that's what I'm seeing here again is people that are able to portray characters that are not human in ways that you'll never see again. So,
did Straczynski write that entire show?
Babylon 5?
Yeah.
Seasons of it, yes.
Okay.
But not the
entire thing.
No.
Okay.
All right, John, number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Man in the High Castle.
Oh, yeah. I've only seen season 1, but that is a fucking good show.
I haven't even finished season 3 yet, and it's number 1. It's a brutally ugly show, and you have to swallow a lot, and it's tough to watch.
And you guys see it? You, Mike?
I haven't seen it. No.
I watched part of the first season, and I kind of just was meh on it.
Okay.
But
I really enjoyed it. It's just one of those shows that I haven't gotten back to season 2 yet. But season 1 ends on such a. I can't believe I haven't gotten back to it. Season 1 ends on such a fucking weird revelation.
Yeah.
That's not a revelation, a weird scene that changes a lot. And I got to get back to it because I really did enjoy it. And if you. What is the show about, John?
It's based off of Philip K. Dick's book of the same name, which is if the Nazis had won World War II.
Yeah.
And basically. Between the Nazi, all the Axis powers would have taken over the United States. So the Japanese had most of the West Coast from the Rockies out to the west, and the Nazis, the East Coast side up until a certain portion of the Midwestern United States. So the show takes place in that world set and changes a few things from the book, because the book it's just a one shot. The book tells one story and that's it. There's no more. Dragging things out a little bit, drags the characters out, pulls a lot more of the political machinations going on. There's not so much of the Italian powers, which are in the book, and some of the neutral powers which are in the book. There's a lot less of that.
Yeah, the first season's heavily just
it's all
Germany
about,
and Japan.
Yeah, the Nazis and Imperial Japan, and that's it. And it's ugly because you have to deal with the exterminations that are still going on.
Right.
And the way that the Nazis look at everything, but also the increase scientific things that they have done.
Oh, they don't have airports. They have like rocket ships.
Yeah, it's crazy. They've got a space station. It's in the book too, but there's a space station. It's just the show's set in what,
65 or something like that?
Yeah, it's really weird. Oh God, it's so good. It's so well acted, and the special effects. This is an Amazon Prime show. The special effects are so good. You're watching and you realize that these things aren't real, but they look so real.
Yeah, it is a great show.
I say this all the time. I interviewed most of the cast and producers at New York Comic Con a few years ago for the first season, and I spoke to the executive producer, Frank Spotnitz, and I said to him, special effects are incredible. I mean, you can see it CGI, but there's a monorail running through Brooklyn. There's these not the rocket ships, but it was the Concorde. It was like the Concorde's aircraft in the early '60s, and he goes, "Oh yeah, Amazon threw us so much money, we didn't know what to do with it, so we just gave it to the special effects guys." Because millions of dollars Amazon gave them.
Well, yeah, I mean, not to mention too, even if the effects weren't there, it's a period piece. So that's expensive right off the bat.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everything. It's world building on top of world building because you've got a single book that you're adapting into a series of indeterminate seasons. What are they going to do with it? So I can't even wait to see what they do with it.
All right. We're going to move to my list now.
That was a lot. Sorry.
That's all right. No, that's what we're here for. My list will be shorter because I already. We'll see right off the bat. I'm not going to say Discovery was my top favorite because the other one is my top favorite.
I know what it is.
So Discovery is there. Loved it. The Good Place. This was a show. I know this isn't my top. This is in there. The Good Place. Are
you doing more than 3?
No, I have 3.
Right.
Discovery. The Good Place is probably my number 2.
All right.
Which, if you've never seen it, it's on NBC. It's a comedy. It's Kristen Bell and Ted Danson, and it's about the afterlife.
It's very good.
It's
very good.
It's written so well. It's from the guy named Michael Schur who created it, who was a writer on The Office. He co-created Parks and Rec, which I loved. He co-created Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which I love, which is, if I could put a 4th show in there, Brooklyn Nine-Nine would probably be up there.
If you haven't seen it, Mike, I would suggest.
Yeah, The Good Place is very good.
It's very different.
There's a twist at the end of the first season that changes everything, and it's so fucking well done.
Ted Danson is basically Ted Danson being the character he's supposed to be in the show, but he's just Ted Danson.
Ted Danson,
he's so good in everything he's in.
You would never think that Ted Danson, at least in terms of TV shows, would ever be able to maybe possibly be remembered as something other than Sam Malone in the long run.
I would disagree with you.
No, I'm saying I think this show might be up there. I mean, what else? He was on CSI and all that stuff. I don't think he's going to be remembered for that.
I'll remember him for that because I watched it.
Oh, really?
Do you watch the CSI shows?
As of recently, yeah.
Did you see the original CSI?
No, I didn't see the original one.
So Ted Danson took over after a couple of other characters from the original lead. His role in that show was so good. I haven't even finished all the episodes yet because he's just so good to watch.
Well,
that's how much of a good actor he is.
Ted Danson's awesome.
At this point, yes, he's Sam Malone. He'll always be Sam Malone.
Right.
But all these other characters that he's portraying now and the age that he's in now.
Yeah, Michael from The Good Place is going to be up there.
He's killing me with how good he is.
So basically, just a real quick plot description is Kristen Bell, whatever her name is, wakes up in the afterworld, and now she's in this place that is the good place. They don't ever say heaven or hell. She's in the good place, and it's her navigating her way through the good place. But the secret is that she's a shit stain of a person who should never have ended up in heaven or the good place, whatever you want to call it. It's never called heaven.
It's the good place.
She should never have ended up in the good place, and she's keeping this from everybody, and it's causing havoc amongst the people that are there that should be there, And again, like I said, there's a twist at the end of season 1.
It's fun.
It's super fun.
they've
It's
had-
funny as hell.
It is. It's
You
extremely
can't
funny.
swear in The Good Place. So every time she
Oh,
swears, it's a holy shirt.
It reminds me a lot of PS 238,
Okay.
where the one character couldn't swear, and they reprogrammed his chair to say other words whenever he would swear.
Yeah, that's what they do to her every time she says shit. She's
forking,
shirt.
forking. They say forking.
Forking. Yeah. Oh, mother forker. All right.
It's a good show. It almost made my list, but
Those are my two
good.
base grades. My absolute favorite. I don't want to get into this too long because I love this show so much. YouTube Red, Cobra Kai. Period.
also on my almost list.
Period. Again, much like Star Trek Discovery, everything about Cobra Kai when they said they were doing it, I said nope, no thanks, no thanks, no thanks. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw the first 2 episodes.
Watch the rest of
Watch.
it.
It's all free now, right?
good.
It's probably free now. Maybe I'm gonna fess up to something. I watched the 2 free episodes on YouTube, and I didn't realize they weren't all free for some reason.
Yeah.
I go to watch 3, and it's like you have to be YouTube Red. Most of the time, 9 times out of 10, I go, I could wait 6 months for that on DVD. I fucking bought it.
Oh no,
I bought it, and I was like, I gotta watch this because I think it's 10 episodes. I bought YouTube Red for a month. I paid. Well, no, you have to pay.
You didn't
for
do the trial?
whatever I did. Yeah,
you got suckered.
whatever the case. I got the trial. Or
How many
whatever.
episodes are there?
10.
10?
10. They're a half
10
hour each.
half-hour episodes.
This
they're
show
jam
packed. The characterization's fantastic. The bringing back, Zabka, William Zabka, and fucking Ralph Macchio. They're both fantastic. There are no weak, in my opinion, subplots. The subplots all worked out very well. I knew you'd find fucking one.
One.
What?
We agree on this.
Oh,
there's one weak subplot, but it's okay.
It still works.
It still works.
It still works.
It's weak only in that it's kind of trite in the way it's portrayed.
You're right. I do remember us talking about that, and you're right.
But it
there's kind
ends
of a
up
whole-
working out in such a good way. It doesn't matter.
The last episode of the show, which without spoiling it, the last episode of the show ends up again at the All Valley Karate Tournament. So it ends like the Karate Kid.
Yeah.
In terms of like the setting.
And there's callbacks
There's
to the
callbacks.
original movie.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Again,
watch it.
when it came out, I said no. And I was kind of getting excited about it because the guys who created it were the guys who created like Harold and Kumar, and I'm like, this is going to be way too jokey,
Right.
And it was not. It was.
there's a lot of humor.
There's
in
humor in
There's
it,
a lot
but
of
it was
humor.
played very. Again, and now you take Ralph Macchio and you take these 2 characters that you knew from 1984. This is real time, 34 years later, and now Daniel is like on the upswing of life, and you're kind of like, this guy's kind of douchey, and Johnny is like in the toilet, and you're like,
He's me.
I kind of see, and you kind of are like, I kind of see where this all went wrong for this dude.
Yeah.
And then you follow their journey that ends up kind of not
It
necessarily-
dovetails.
It dovetails.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of kids that are involved.
Yeah,
And,
they've both got kids, and it's great.
I can't. Did you do it or no?
First 2 episodes.
And
Really?
Didn't enjoy it or?
It was okay.
Oh my
Like,
God.
From what I saw, I was on the fence with it.
See, look, let me just say this: I am not a Karate Kid fan at all. At all. I've never really been a big fan of the movie. Never really cared about any of that stuff. This show, for some stupid reason, just drew me in, and I think it was because it's Zabka mostly.
He was awesome.
Well, here's the other thing too: is from the previews, I thought Zabka was going to be the major star of it, but it seems to for the 10
Is for the
episodes,
first 2 episodes.
it balances its way through
And then once
both
they-
characters, so you get just as much Ralph Macchio as you do William.
They don't bring Ralph Macchio in until like the end of the first or the beginning of the second.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, maybe he's not going to be in it too much. And then once he's in it, he's in it.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I don't know.
and I love the way they ended it, and I can't wait. To
Oh,
see the
there's
next
season
season.
2, and they bring back a character that wasn't in it.
Well, they mention things about him, and
He's mentioned throughout the whole thing.
Yeah,
Does Martin Cove do the nose thing at any
No,
point?
he does not.
Damn.
He does not do the nose
There's
thing.
this whole bit with Daniel when he goes to see Miyagi's grave, and you just can't help but want to watch the movie again.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been a fan of this movie ever. and I wanted to watch the movie.
I think that movie came out when I was 9, so I was the target audience for that movie.
Yeah, no,
And again,
definitely.
I don't even say to this day, like, I always loved The Karate Kid, but I won't say one of my top movies of all time. But a lot of times when 30 plus years later or 20 plus years later, you try to reconnect to something like that and it doesn't work. This one worked so fucking well.
It's why it's right below Glow on my list.
Yeah. So Cobra Kai, if you did not check that out, check that out. All right. So guys, real quick, let's do some top video games.
No, let's do the video games.
Yeah, let's do the video games because I don't want to talk right
You
now.
want to go first? You want me to?
No, you can go first.
All right.
We'll keep it in order.
All right. So number 3 is going to be Saturday Morning RPG. You ever hear it, play it?
I've heard of it, haven't played it.
So it was just released on a Switch this year. Limited Run Games released it. So Josh Fairhurst, the owner of that, and Mighty Rabbit Studios. So he put it out there, he's releasing it, and he had some review codes. So I actually took one for the show. So that was our first review code for that. It's throwback to 80s cartoons. So it's got all you fighting Commander Hood, which is basically Cobra Commander. You got like the Transformers in there. Basically, it's everything 80s you can think of. Back to the Future, everything. Just in like an 8-bit style video game. Drawing. Just check it out, Lou. You might actually like it.
Oh, I don't doubt I will.
So it's
Yeah,
kind of like
like I said, I definitely
it's kind of like an RPG style type.
like regular old turn-based 8-bit.
It's not
old school
turn-based.
style,
It's
no.
like real time. So
Really?
you're going, just going through it, leveling up, killing monsters. It's simple game, and it's busted down into like 4 or 5 episodes.
Yep.
So each one has their own thing.
Do you have one character or you have 3 like Final Fantasy 2?
No, just one. You're just one guy going through it. So nerd.
Not you, him. Well, you too. But him.
I love Final Fantasy 2. That was an
It's
awesome
definitely
game.
worth it though. So it was originally released in 2012 on iOS only.
Okay, so but this is for the Switch.
It's on the Switch now, and it came out, I believe, last year on the PlayStation 4. Well, the year before.
Oh,
So.
wow.
All right, what's your number 2 game?
Number 2 is going to be Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I'm not going to go into it too much because we already talked about it.
If you want to hear Mike's discussion of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, go to our Nintendo episode, which either has already come out or is coming out soon. So you're going to be able to hear him talk about it in either case.
A lot.
All right.
lot.
Yeah. And number 1, it didn't technically come out this year, but it got big this year.
We'll give you a pass on that.
So, well, you're going to have to because I have a lot of games that I bought this year, but they're still sealed because
Okay.
I don't want to open them because they're like collector's editions.
Oh,
so it's
Jesus
really-
Christ. You sound
Sorry.
like me.
Wow, nerds.
Yeah.
Nerds. Calling
So-
nerds.
Lou might hate this too, but it's Fortnite.
You can't deny it.
So
I love the
Can you
pause.
just explain to me real quickly because I don't understand Fortnite? What is it?
What you because I mean it hit full retail this year, right?
Yeah.
So I mean you actually have
I have the free one and I buy the battle pass for it.
right.
Is it a first person shooter? Is it a third person RPG? Is it a fucking is it Wii tennis? What the fuck? I just want to know what is
It's
fucking
first
Fortnite?
person, right?
No, it's third person.
Is it third person?
Yeah, it's third person.
person.
Okay.
It's a third person battle royale. Basically, you're dropping 100 people into an area, and
Well, you're only talking about the PvP portion.
PvP.
You're
I
not
haven't
talking about
played-
Save the World.
No, I haven't played
Yeah.
Save the World. Have you played that?
I've dabbled a little bit with it.
That's that's PvE.
That's
right?
the PvE side.
Yeah, I haven't played that at all.
PvP.
Just
you know,
that, but
Player
like,
versus player.
I really just got into it in like
I
the
did
last
know
couple
that.
weeks being on vacation.
Yeah.
So like literally when I woke up, I was going to play the game for like 4 or 5 hours, and my girlfriend Kate got really mad at me the other day because I told her Tuesday I'm like I played in the morning and then we stopped and we did some stuff, went to lunch and stuff, and then I'm like it was like 2 o'clock. I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna play anymore. We'll watch movies there. Okay, so I started playing at 2 o'clock. I didn't stop playing until 7 o'clock.
Jesus Christ.
So it really sucked me. And last night, so basically every week, if you buy a battle pass, you get to do more challenges, which is just do stupid things in the game. Yeah, money. Well, the game's free. Yeah, it's,
Yeah, and when you pay $20 a skin,
buy a battle.
yeah,
yeah,
that's
I
how
just-
they
I
make
just
their
like
money.
that.
I don't buy no skins.
they I think at one point they were saying
What the fuck's a skin?
it's
Different clothes.
Different
You
clothes.
can change your clothes.
Okay. All right.
I think they were saying Epic Games made $2 billion. I think it was $2 billion.
Sounds about right.
I think it was $2 billion last year on Fortnite. That it generated $2 billion in revenue. They're selling the skins, like the outfits, for
Right.
$20 a piece, and they come out with one a week.
You want to start up a
See,
game
but-
company, John?
Yeah, apparently.
See, but the other,
It's making hundreds of millions a month. They sponsor tournaments all over the place. There's every major streamer
It's on
plays
everything.
it. Yeah, it's
too.
everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
And they just had the top player, Ninja, do his own New Year's Eve special
Yep.
on it.
I actually saw something about that.
They just had the lead singer of Panic at the Disco streaming Fortnite for a couple hours on Friday.
It's
Drake, the rapper,
fun.
plays it.
It's fun.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'd assume it seems like everybody on Earth fucking plays this game.
Yeah,
Rapper.
solo to me is not that much fun. But when you can have up to 4 players in your team. When you get a group of 4 players and you're doing it, it's just a lot of fun. And there's a building aspect to it too, not just killing. So basically, it's a battle royale. They drop 100 players in the PvP, and a circle encloses. So you can't just like wait it out. Eventually, you're all going to one central point, a circle,
Right.
going to kill each other, whether it's a squad or it's one.
You know what one of our new YouTube videos is going to be? It's going to be like maybe you go over to Mike's house or go to your
It's
house.
going to have to be him. I don't play Fortnite.
I was going to say it should be it should be Ganache plays Fortnite for the first time.
That'd be fun to watch.
Yeah, let's
it
do that.
actually would. You
Wait.
it'll be hilarious
No
because
fucking-
You have a phone, don't you?
Yeah.
Download it on your phone.
Oh,
it's
is
available.
Is it a phone thing too?
you can play it
It's
on mobile.
everywhere.
I wouldn't recommend playing
I
it on
wouldn't
mobile
recommend
against
it
mouse and
either.
keyboard players. But yeah, it can be done.
All right. So we got Mike's 3. What were they again, real quick, Mike? It's Fortnite.
Saturday morning RPG, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Fortnite.
All right, Lou, give us your top 3 video games.
Okay, I'm gonna go with my heart, even though you called me out on it and I said it was nowhere near the top. I have to stick with my roots, and I have to stick with the fact that even though it didn't come out in 2018, the update that actually saved the game came out in 2018, and I gotta go with Destiny 2 Forsaken.
This is number 3.
Yeah, this is number 3.
Okay, Destiny 2.
Yeah, it was the update, the year 2 update to the game.
Is this the game that you spent 1,000 hours of your life on? Okay.
By the way, he's not joking. That is literally 1,000 hours. I have the stats to prove it.
Do you play on Twitch and stuff like that?
Only if like Jody's at work. My wife Jody's.
So
at
why
work
don't you
and
give
she
the
wants-
folks out there your Twitch handle so that
No,
if they
I
want to
just-
watch you
no,
playing
it's
this
not-
goddamn game for 1,000 hours, they
No,
can
it
check
really,
it out.
honestly, it's not. I mean, if you can if you want to, you can go on Twitch.tv and then Biggest Loser.
LOUSER.
Kingpin's making fun of you before.
But like I said, King is sitting to my left, and he's going to nod when I say this. He has had to bring my wife home from work more times than he cares to admit because I've been raiding in this game. Yeah, and it's
Holy
like,
shit.
and it's like he'll bring her home because they work together, and he'll bring her home, and I'm like, boop, headset on. It's a raid night.
Lou's not answering the
Yeah.
phone. I don't know. Can you drive me?
No, my wife loves the fact that I play this game so much because she knows I'm not out doing anything I shouldn't be. I'm sitting at home like a nerd.
Yeah, but you might be starting one of those weird like online relationships
With
somebody.
a bunch of other nerd dudes.
Might be like this.
You know what I
Lou,
mean? No,
Lou,
it's really-
Lou, have you washed today?
Yeah, yeah. You're not like South Park in it where you're like calling someone down to like shit in a bucket or anything, right?
He's got a hole in the seat. What are you talking about? A bucket? He's got a hole in the seat with a bucket under
There
it.
you go. You've seen that, man. You've seen that South Park with Warcraft when they got addicted to Warcraft.
Warcraft.
And they're just shitting in buckets.
Warcraft.
Ma'am, bucket.
That was a wet one.
Oh, sweetie, that was a wet one. All right, numero dos. What is your number 2?
Numero dos. I got to go with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That was Assassin's Creed was never a series I was actually into. I liked the parts when you were back in history, but I hated all the stuff to do with the Animus, which is the machine that actually transports the character back in time. I just didn't like the fact that it broke the game up.
Oh yeah, I tried that game once, PS3 I think, and I just couldn't get into it.
I had no idea you transported through time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
only way I learned that was from the previews from the movie.
Yeah.
In the previews in the movie,
There was a movie?
Yeah.
Yes. Michael Fassbender was in it.
Let me put
Oh
it.
God!
Let me put it to you this way.
Keep me away from a movie, can you?
Oh, I love Fassbender, but I'll
Oh
say
yeah,
this:
no, it's great.
the Assassin's Creed movie,
This is where you need a video. No.
the Assassin's Creed movie looked like something Tony would buy. Like in the $5 bin. Looks like something Tony would fuck us on Movie Buff with.
Oh,
because
so that-
it's one of those
it's,
like
animated,
Priest.
yeah, like Priest or
Like Priest or I Frankenstein.
what was that one? The one with the angels?
No,
with,
Legion.
Legion, yeah, Legion.
As soon as you
These are
said
all-
priest, I knew exactly what you meant.
Yeah, these are all Tony things.
The difference is Assassin's Creed Origins basically rewrote the way they're doing the franchise. Kind of like how Fast and the Furious, like Fast and the Furious 4 just completely rebooted the
Yeah.
entire franchise into a heist film.
No.
Well, yeah, well, it did, really.
I never watched.
Oh,
any
okay.
of them.
But in any event, Assassin's Creed with Origins basically reinvented itself from that kind of action stealth game into an RPG. And while Origins, which took place in ancient Egypt, was really, really good, Odyssey, which takes place during, Grecian times, conflict between, the conflict between the Grecians and the Trojans, went full on RP. Yeah.
Are you agreeing? You understand this all?
I'm looking at him because I'm waiting to say which king.
Oh, King Felicius.
You play actually as a descendant of Leonidas, and you carry his weapon. And you carry his spear that was turned into a weapon.
At any point, do you get to kick a dude down a hole?
There actually is a super ability. There actually is a I'm going to air quote this, a super ability that is a kick.
Really?
Yes.
This is Sparta!
The Spartans.
That's John's man crush,
Not
by
Trojans,
the way.
Spartans. Wow.
Who?
In any
You,
event.
Gerard Butler. Yeah.
Is he tall? Because he doesn't like small guys.
Yeah.
But
he likes the fact that he talks on the side
He talks on the side of his mouth. He's actually Scottish, but then he's Grecian.
Oh, my word. But in
He likes to be greased up,
All right, Assassin's Creed
Odyssey. They went full tilt into the RPG. That's all I'm going to say. Numero uno. I got to go with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, wow. How does the game you have 1,000 hours in not number one?
Well,
he's not done with that one.
Well, no, but see,
that one will never be done. Wait a minute.
Okay, Destiny has a special place in my heart, but it is by no means better than Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay, so what is it about Red Dead Redemption 2 you like so much?
First of all, it's Rockstar. So
takes forever to install.
It takes forever to install. It takes them forever to get it ready. But the one thing that Rockstar does better than anyone else is tell a story. They tell excellent stories, and this game just gives you an entire world to inhabit.
What's your horse's name in the game?
Bucephalus.
Seriously, isn't that a thing? Like everybody's like, you got to try to find a certain horse or something.
Kirby.
See, I knew you had a horse name.
In any event,
Kirby.
Jack Kirby.
I was going to say that little.
No, not the pink puffball. I named him after Jack Kirby.
Do you? Is this like I played Red Dead Redemption 1? Is this one of the games where you get to make your guy into a good guy or bad guy?
Yeah. It even leans harder into that because it gives you a lot of conversation tree choices, kind of like how Mass Effect does. There's, I don't know if you ever played Mass Effect.
I did actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the same kind of style. So you're going in there. You have conversation choices. You can either be friendly or you can threaten. Your actions. You have a. Your actions have consequences, so you could choose to be nice to people. You could choose to murder them. You could tie somebody to a train tracks. You can murder. You can steal horses. You can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? Once you're out of the linear story missions, like when you enter a mission, it becomes more linear. But when you're just roaming, anything can happen.
So are you a white hat?
Grand Theft Auto.
It is.
Yeah, well, it is.
It is.
But it
same
is,
guys.
Yeah, same company.
Yeah.
It is. But think of that on a bigger scale.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it's just it takes Grand Theft Auto 5, which I honestly never played. I mean, from what my understanding on it is very open. This is that
huge.
To the nth level, and just the wacky stuff that happens in game. You go on YouTube and just watch like wacky things that people do in Red Dead Redemption 2. It's incredible what people have figured out. Just because it's just a giant sandbox and they let you play in it.
Hello, whore. I have 2 talents for you.
Is the online functional now?
From what my understanding is, I haven't even gotten into the online portion yet.
Did you play the online portion in the first one?
No.
It was a lot of fun, but there was a lot of glitches.
Yeah, I mean, from what my understanding is, I know people who've been in there, they say it's fun. But one thing I have heard about it is that a lot of times it's just posses rolling around murdering people.
Yeah, that's how it was.
And that's
in the first
really
one,
all
too.
it is. But like I said, I haven't been in there yet.
Ain't nothing worse than a murder posse.
It's really all it is, a murder posse.
Can't stand me a murder posse.
And I mean,
there's a title.
While like I said, while there are other
hashtag
games
grab him by the posse.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christmas. While there are games that have my heart more just because they mean a lot more to me in terms of like the friendships I've made and the people I know and everything else, you can't deny Fortnite. You can't.
So a quick easy question.
Too.
In your game of Red Dead Redemption with Kirby, are you playing it as a white hat or a black hat?
I am always a Jedi.
So you're good. You're on the side of good. See, when I played Red Dead Redemption, I was shooting people in the back. I was a shitball.
I mean, there's stories about like there's stories you go on. You can see online. There's stories where people like they go into a town and like they accidentally kill somebody, and then like somebody else sees them do it, and then they have to go kill that person by so that they don't say anything.
Oh.
And then next thing you know, like half the town's dead, and they didn't even mean it to happen.
Wipe them the fuck out is what I say.
Yeah, and it's just, but see, no, I'm always a Jedi. I
right.
can't not be anything but good.
Those were the video game picks from the video game guys. the VGGs on Pine and Comics here.
The nerds calling nerds nerds.
All right,
As
so
we've said.
let's do our quick comic book and books and flitter out.
Does
of here.
mangas count?
Does what?
Manga?
Sure, if you want to throw a manga in there.
We can do books real quick.
All right.
Real quick.
All right, we'll do books real quick. And we won't even get too far into them. Because
No.
actually all my books
I
are
have
things that
two.
we've talked about on the show.
I
So
have two.
Go ahead.
I have two. Oh, me?
You go first.
Oh, okay, fine. Two best books I read out of 2018. The second of the best first, if that makes any sense. to you.
In a way. Yeah.
Springfield Confidential by Mike Rice. It is
Oh, right.
the writer that's been one of the writers that's been on the Simpsons TV show for the entirety of its show. Wrote if you want to call it a retrospective and introspective of everything that went on then. It's an excellent book. I did a review of it for the website, www.pinecomics.com. You can go and read it. I forget what I called it, but that's okay. You can search it.
You'll find it.
There's a search function on the website.
That's right.
it's
Simpsons. Type it in.
Simpsons. It goes right up there. But anyway, it's a great book. It's fun. If you like The Simpsons, it's really funny. It's laugh out loud funny. The guy's a local Connecticut resident. Well, actually, he was raised here in Connecticut. I don't think he lives here anymore. But fantastic book. Second book, because I don't have three.
I got two myself. I'm going to do two.
There you go. Okay, so we have top two. Second book is DC Comics Before Superman by Nikki Wheeler Nicholson, printed by Hermes Press. If you haven't read it, it is a fundamentally important book when it comes to comics.
And we had her on the radio show.
We did.
Back in probably summertime.
I didn't realize we were counting that book.
Oh, yeah.
Because that book is great.
That's a book,
Yeah.
man. That is not a graphic
So jump
novel.
in. Say that's on your choice, too.
That is.
I have a one.
There you go.
You actually have it.
I bought it. Yeah.
How big is it?
It is a good sized coffee table book.
Yeah. So
I know it's bad radio, bad listening, but it's a maybe 10 or 15% bigger than that DC Heroines book.
All right.
From that night.
All right.
I
So
mean,
you're
it's
actually looking
good-
at a coffee table.
It is
size
a
book.
good
Nice
sized
big
coffee table book.
Yeah.
Which is good because the material that was published at the time were tabloid sized comics. So these were not your normal comic book size comics. So the things that they're reprinting in it are large size.
More tabloid magazine style.
No,
Yeah.
I read it in a PDF form, so I have no idea what it looks like. I haven't even seen a copy anywhere. So, which is too bad because, like I say, it's a fundamentally important book when it comes to comic books, and it's so well written. And I cannot wait until Nikki finishes her biography of her grandfather, the Major Malcolm.
The Major, yeah, we talked. Yeah, that was what we talked about.
I cannot wait because the guy is just amazing. His military career and everything he did after that, and then the building blocks of what became DC Comics, just amazing.
It was interesting having her on, that's for sure.
Yeah, she's a great person.
Yeah, and I remember Lou saying he was ordering that book that night.
Yeah, and I'm not sorry I did. I really like it.
It really is. It's like one of
book.
my top books of. Well, I mean, obviously one of my top books of.
Yeah, it's your top book. You're number. Okay, so I got two. One of them is one we already talked about on the show, but I really love it a lot. Ad Nauseum by Michael Gingold. It's from Rue Morgue.
You really like that?
I love this book. I've been digging through it. Newspaper Nightmares from the 1980s. And we did a whole review, so I'm not going to get too far into it. But basically, Michael Gingold is a writer who's worked for Fangoria and Rue Morgue and all this stuff. And he all his life has collected the clippings from newspapers of when movies would start on a Friday. And it's all these horror movies and stuff. And I thought what was really cool was we did the review on the show. And about a week later, Lloyd and I were at the archive. And I heard one of the guys at the archive, the Great Store in Bridgeport, Connecticut, that's all like exploitation movies and horror movies and stuff. It's this really great video store, music store.
TheArchive.com.
A week after us talking about this book on the radio, this guy lives in New York City, I think, Michael Gingold. And I had kind of corresponded with him on Facebook to get a review copy of it. And as I'm standing there looking through some of the DVDs at this place, there's this guy standing next to me, and he's talking to one of the guys that works there. And the guy takes the movie he's talking about. He goes, I'm going to put it up front, and I'm going to put on a Gingold recommendation. And I turn to the right and I go, "Are you Michael Gingold?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I go, "I'm John Amenta. I sent you a thing and you sent me your for Piney Comics." And he's like, "Oh yeah." It was just the fucking author, like, strangely is in the same store as me a week after we talked about this book. You've got to check it out. It's
I like how you're making this sound like it was accidental.
Oh, yeah.
Did you rub his leg?
Yeah.
I did not rub his leg.
Is this a Larry Hama thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Is this what we have?
Did you
Is
give
there
him
going
a
to be
massage?
another? Is there going to be another restraining order?
No restraining orders. No restraining orders.
What'd you do to Larry Hama?
Nothing. I did nothing to Larry Hama. Lou has a running joke that I stalked Larry Hama at a Comic-Con, but I did not. He's just a very nice guy.
He totally did.
Yeah.
And King is over here behind me agreeing.
Is that why Larry Hama says no Cobra Law characters, no Cobra Commander?
Yeah, no, but Larry Hama did reject me when I offered to have him on the radio show.
Wow.
He was like,
I'd
I don't do interviews. And I'm like, it might be because he thinks I'm stalking him. But my number one book of the year is actually
He doesn't think he knows.
No, it
knows.
might be, yeah.
He's like, yeah. What? Yeah, you got a radio show.
Anyways, let's not talk Larry Hama anymore.
I broadcast from my van. Come on in.
All right. Don't. I don't want to be rude.
Oh,
What are you going to pull out the Katrina Law thing?
No, I wasn't going to bring that up.
Oh, you weren't going to bring that up? Okay.
You're gonna bring a Clam magazine again?
All right. So my number one book for books this year, I just got it on Christmas, but I'm reading through it right now. I knew I wanted this from the second I heard about it. It's the Beastie Boys book. Adam Horovitz and Mike Diamond, Beastie Boys that are remaining. Adam, yeah, you're looking around. The fucking Beastie Boys, man.
I know who they are. I'm
Yeah.
just looking to see if anyone really gives a shit. But
Wow.
It's his list.
I
Wow.
know. I'm just looking to see, and no one seems to care.
That was savage.
If you're not a Beastie Boys fan, you might not care. For me, as a lifelong Beastie Boys fan, it's a great book. It's
No.
fucking, I don't know what, 500 pages, and it's all different.
500 pages.
For instance, I didn't even know there was a Beastie Boys book.
Me either.
I'm intrigued, actually.
Yeah,
I
it's-
didn't
Well,
see
that was
Beastie
another
Boys.
reason I was looking around. I figured that somebody else would know.
It's that giant book on my coffee table over there, and it's chock full of the two of them,
says Neil
different
Gaiman.
stories, and that's underneath the Sandman book. Different stories of their time in the Beastie Boys. There's actually like a small graphic novel in the middle of it,
Really?
that they wrote. Yeah, it's really cool. It's a lot of pictures and stuff. So if you are a Beastie Boys fan, unlike fucking Sir John here, I definitely say
I'm
check out the
not,
Beastie Boys book.
but that graphic novel you just mentioned,
Yeah.
was that published somewhere else before?
I don't think so. I think I haven't gotten to that point yet
Okay.
in the book, but it's in the middle of the book.
Well-
It's very tiny. I mean, it's literally pages.
This is where I do what I do. You're going to do a review of that for the website.
I will, absolutely. Oh. Look at that. I never do that. Why not? Yeah, but in all seriousness,
Because not enough people do book reviews. for
yeah,
the website.
it's a coffee table book basically, and the way I've been doing it is I've been reading it. Like it's all really compartmentalized stories. So like maybe 3 pages, one of them will write a story about a time they did this or that, and that's how I'm reading it. It's just in chunks. It's not you have to read page 10 to fucking 45 to get through a chapter. It's no chapters. It's just, and then there's pictures in between and all different kinds of things. There's actually there's a report card that Kool Moe Dee, the rapper in the 80s, had come out with back in the 80s about all the rappers that were around. And it highlights the fact that he gave the Beastie Boys the worst grades and all of their different lyrics and rapping style and all this stuff. And it's really cool. So Beastie Boys book. If you want to check it out, check it out.
Nice job.
Comic books. Thanks for being so disparaging, you cunt.
Oh, fuck you. I'm making you
Wow,
do
it got
goddamn.
real.
Yeah.
Comics. Let's move out of this. We're at an hour 30. So
Oh, are we really?
yes.
All right. Comic books.
Is that counting the break for Creepy King at your door?
I paused it. So
Oh, okay.
Did you really?
yeah.
Oh, all right. This is a tough one. I've got a list a mile long here. So number three. Shit.
We're at hour 40 now.
Shut up. This is where you can edit this shit out. I know you're gonna be like, "Fuck you! I hate editing this."
I absolutely do.
Hell. All right, I'm not. Shut up. See, look whose turn it is now.
That wasn't me. That
I
was
know
him,
where
yeah.
it's coming from. Comes right out of this goddamn speaker. All right, fine. Number 3, I'm going to go with Grass Kings.
Oh, you love that thing.
I did.
Matt Kent.
Matt Kent and Tyler, whose last name I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's from Boom Studios. fantastic series. It lasted 15 issues, and way too short.
Did it end? Was it? Did it have a finite ending, or did it get canceled?
It did. It was obviously going to get canceled, and they made a way for it to end.
But the story ended well.
It did.
Okay.
It did. It ended well, and honestly, it it kind of continued on to another series.
I don't even mean this in a bad way, but I mean, how many copies are getting printed to get canceled from Boom? I mean, what was the print run at the end?
Well, that's the thing is, if I remember correctly, when I was looking at the sales figures from Diamond only, you're looking at 3,000 copies.
Yeah, so it's next to nothing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah. Well, I mean, it's Boom to begin with. I understand, but I'm just saying.
Not just that. You're looking at American copies.
Oh, okay.
So
right.
That's not European. That's not where it's sold anywhere else. It's not digital.
All right, numero dos.
Numero dos. We will go with we'll go with a Walk Through Hell.
I picked the trade up after Christmas. I read the first issue, and I thought two things simultaneously with that. Number one, it's crazy. And number two, I could very vividly picture that being a TV show.
Yep.
Like that.
Walk Through Hell is from Aftershock. It's Grant Morrison, not Grant Morrison.
Garth
Ennis. Jesus Christ. I'm a moron for saying that. You all can scream at me for that. Garth Ennis, who I love quite a lot.
And Goran Sudzuka on art, who was
just amazing.
He's awesome.
He just nails it. And this is an ongoing series, too. This is not a miniseries, and it doesn't look like it's going to get canceled anytime soon. Aftershock is, again, a small publisher like Boom, but you're looking at them publishing probably 3 times amount of what Grass Kings did. So I think it's their number one selling book, I think, right now.
It's certainly the first issue alone certainly ends and makes you go, what the fuck was that? What happened in that issue?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it from the get-go. I'm like, oh, man, finally we got... Because I read other Grant Morrison... I need a beer. Garth Ennis. Sorry, I did it again. You can edit that if you need.
I'm going to just say Garth Ennis right now. And
Garth Ennis. Basically, I buy anything that he puts out. I like to read. I don't read everything, but I read as much as I can. The last thing he did, the one about the 007 ripoff.
Oh, Jimmy's.
Jimmy's Bastards.
Jimmy's Bastards.
Jimmy's Bastards, which was a lot of fun. That was about 9 issues of absolute raunchy shit, and I loved it.
Moving on, what's number one?
Number one. What is number one?
Man, your list was fucking tight until it got to comics.
Oh no, Galacticon.
Oh, right.
Galacticon. Brendan Small's great 6-issue series from Albatross Funny Books, which is basically the story of the second Galacticon CD.
Right, because this is a comic book that also corresponds with a musical CD.
Yeah, so Galacticon is Brendan Small's band post Metalocalypse.
I'm familiar with the name, but I've never seen the show.
Metalocalypse was a show, and there's music to go along with it. And then
Metalocalypse was awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that Death Clock?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Death Clock. So Death Clock they cannot regain the rights to because of the cartoon. So he and the band created Galacticon, which is a way of them producing more music without actually using Death Clock. So they did one album, which is essentially another album of it's a storied album. So each song is a correlating story for the character.
Concept album.
Yeah, basically. So they did a second album, and the second album is what became Galacticon, the comic series, which is 6 issues. An awesome thing that, again, I reviewed on the website.
Yeah, I remember you said there was a portion in the comic where it taught you like how to play certain notes, right?
There's a character in it. There's a robotic character in the book that only talks in musical notes. And if you don't know the musical notes, you won't understand what he's saying.
But
if you do know the musical notes, you can play them and understand what he's saying.
That's crazy.
It's fucking awesome. And it's number one, honestly. It was so good. From the artistry to the coloring to the lettering right down to the nitty-gritty of that damn book. It was so good.
All right, Galacticon.
Number one.
Number one. Well, just real quick, what was your manga thing you were saying before?
Splatoon.
Jesus Christ. I thought he was going to say something like fucking like profound. He's like, I've been reading this manga.
Hey, look, I wanted to say Captain Ginger, but Captain Ginger's not finished yet.
Yeah,
so,
Captain Ginger's pretty fucking
it's
good.
fucking awesome. awesome.
All right, my comics. Let's see. It's pretty. I had a hard time with this because it's kind of tough with comics to a point. But I'm going to go with the Marvel second volume of Darth Vader by Charles Soule and Giuseppe Camuncoli. That just ended at issue 25. Who's snoring now?
It's not me.
Oh, it's God Almighty. I'm trying to do.
Oh, was that Vader? Oh, okay. It was poor.
It sounds like he's snoring.
It was
Sorry. Whatever. I can't do it over the microphone.
Thank you. I'm gonna have to.
You sound like you're choking on your
Oh God! All right. Well, long story short is it's over. But basically, it kind of it actually deals with that. It's actually done pretty well. It deals with his relationship with Palpatine and the beginning of his working relationship with Tarkin. And yeah, and there's a really good probably 4-issue arc that takes place on Mon Calamari and they kind of get into the origin of how he gets the red lightsaber, and they also introduce the Inquisitors who end up on Rebels. They introduced them in this book, so this is kind of pre.
There's a show that I didn't even think about for the
I haven't finished seeing it, so I haven't finished last season. So I'd say number 2. It actually ended in 2018 and only made it to February. But Invincible by Robert Kirkman and Ryan Otley.
Oh yeah, you just love stroking off.
What happened in the last 20 minutes with you?
You can say it to Lou, but I can't say it.
I've said nothing. I've said you spent 1,000 hours playing a game.
Fine, keep going.
All right. So Invincible
5%
ended
in the world.
after 15 years. Or it started in 03, ended in 18, so 15 years. Issue 144, and that is was that a gross or is that a gross 144? What's the
144 is a gross?
Is a gross, yes. Right? All right. So Invincible, and then my number 1 is actually only a couple issues came out this year. But from Comics Tribe, it's a book called Sync.
Sync.
John Lees and Alex Cormack. And it is a really fucking gritty crime book.
That's your number 1.
That's my number 1. I love that book.
Nice.
I think only 2 issues came out in 2018, but it's up to 6 issues now, or I think 7 might have just come out. And it basically takes place in this neighborhood in Glasgow called Sink Hill. And it is just, there's murderous clown gangs, and there's hitmen, and it's just a lot of bad shit. It's a really, really well done book. Alex Cormack.
This Scottish man is going to say Glasgow.
Glaswegian.
It's Glasgow.
Glasgow. All right. So those are my top comic picks for 2018 that I enjoyed the most.
Oh, you cheese-eating surrender monkey.
Anybody mind if I punch him in the face? Anybody? Nobody? You want
Go
me to?
for it.
All right.
Oh, you're no fun at all.
All right. So that was Pine and Comics best of 2018, right? Is that it? We got everything in there?
I think we covered it all.
We could have crammed more.
Yeah, I think at an hour 40 we're good to go.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So if you want to check out Pint of Comics, please check us out on Twitter at Pint of Comics, Instagram pint_o_comics. We are on YouTube now. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Lou has been working on some really great content, and if you subscribe, make sure to hit that bell, because what happens when you hit the bell, Lou?
You get notifications.
You get notifications.
When my videos that I spend a lot of time on go live.
That's right. Every once in a while, I'll feel my pocket buzzing, and I'll look in there and go, "Hey, it's not my Nintendo controller going off." And I noticed, hey, look at that! Lou put up a new video, and he put up a couple just the other day of our interview with Michael Kelleher from the radio show. So that's very cool.
I'm shocked they give me as much latitude as they do.
Yeah. You've done
It's probably you probably shouldn't, but I don't know.
with what?
All the latitude I get.
From what?
Just putting stuff up at will.
It's YouTube.
You have no control over me.
Oh, I
could
probably
put
you mean
almost anything
us?
up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can put almost anything up there.
say I think he's getting fucking. I think he has the Benz or something. No. And of course we have Mike here. I think Mike's falling asleep. He's getting tired. He's not used to these marathon fucking sessions of podcasting.
144 minutes. What?
All right, Mike. What do you have? J&M Something Nothing Show. Tell all the people where they can find you and where they can download episodes.
You can find us on Instagram at JNM Something Nothing Show. Twitter is J_M_SNS. Facebook, JNM Something Nothing Show. You can find us on our home for listening, Anchor.fm. And you can listen to us iTunes, Google Podcasts, wherever else you can listen. Spotify, everywhere.
All right. So make sure you check Mike out. Follow Mike as well on Twitter at Blind Hostility. And thank you for coming on for 2 and your co-host.
And my co-host, Big John Wolf.
Big John with no H, Jon, right?
Jon, no
All
way.
right.
4 solid hours of Pint of Comics
That's
with
right.
Mike.
That's right. And we can follow John on Twitter. What's your name there? It's like,
I have a Twitter?
yeah,
Oh, Twiddler.
Twiddler.
Oh, Twiddler.
Yeah,
oh,
Twiddler.
That's Sir John at... No, it's Pint of Comics Sir John.
Pint of Comics Sir John, I think.
What the hell it's
Yeah, I
called.
just type in Jon and it pops up. So.
Just
All
like,
right.
I'm sitting in a goddamn captain's chair from the Enterprise. You can find me.
Yeah.
I'm not changing that picture anytime soon. So.
Good picture. So it's been a fun night. We did a couple shows. We did a Nintendo show. We did this show. We were scared to death by the fact that our good buddy Kingpin was standing in my kitchen window my living room window, staring in at us.
Kingpin.
Creepy Kingpin. So this has been Pint of Comics. Lou, why don't you say the words that make people go away on Pint of Comics?
Pint of Comics out.
No. Every episode ends the same way.
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Oh.
Don't touch me there.
No.
Wow, really?
Mike, do you know what it is?
I'm sorry, I'm blanking.
No. Okay.
See
I don't know if
ya.
I ever.
See
oh yeah,
ya.
see ya. Yeah, that's right. You can do Pint of Comics out all the time.
It's see ya.
It's over, Johnny. It's over! Nothing is over! Nothing! You just don't turn it off!